and the methane party drop will get all of these warthogs and
welcome back, everyone, to the grand finals of our Halo Wars 2 2v2 tournament. It has been an absolute pleasure for us to host this event, despite a few dramatic instances in the early goings. This has been a fantastic tournament. Semifinals A, probably one of the best series ever put on YouTube. I'll just go out there and throw it there now. Series B, Yoda's team just came in. Yoda and Jetty just dominated. We are in for a special treat for the grand finals. But before we get to that, Pat, I want to say a few things to our donators. Real quick, I Love Wheezy 56 donated 100 big ones, Pat, to this tournament. That's love. That's dedication. We appreciate it greatly. And that's just, I can't even imagine that. And that support alone is it pushes us to continue to do stuff like this. Again, that $100 does not go to Pat, does not go to myself. It goes to the prize pool. Everything here, any donations goes straight to the prize pool. All entry fees, we take nothing. So just want to make that very clear. I Love Wheezy would like to say hello to Ella and Maddie. So shout out to you guys. Pat, we've also got Manny Rodriguez. Manny, one of our earliest followers, came in, donated $10, showing his support for the tournament. Thank you, Manny, for your continued support. We've got Psychic from the Discord dropping in a $5, and we thank him greatly for considering and donating as well. Last but not least, we've got actually a pretty cool, I mean, this isn't money related, but this is, so we've got a community member named Drew. He created a glass shroud from scratch, Pat, and he wants to give it to the MVP of our choosing. And I'll put it in the Discord. If you guys want to see it on Friday, if you're watching this right now, I'm going to post it in the announcements on the Discord. Check it out. If you don't know what our Discord is, link in the description down below to check out this glass shroud that he made, and that's specifically going to go to the MVP of this tournament. It's a beauty. I wish I could keep it for myself. Again, thank you, Drew. What a cool contribution, and I think it's just beautiful. So again, thank you to every single person who is watching these videos. If you're enjoying this series, leave a like. Let us know as a comment down below. If you want to see more, we've kind of shut the idea on doing more tournaments. But if you guys continue to show support, maybe there will be one more in the future. Never know. It just depends on what you guys want to see. So again, thank you to everyone. Let's go, baby. I think we are in for an absolute treat.
Where are we? What are we doing right now? What is this?
Oh, this is the grand finals. This is the moment you've been waiting for. You've probably waited about 24 hours for this very moment. It's here. Pat, Mac, Jeff sticking with what I'm going to say is the new meta. Isabel, Pavium. You want to play offense? You want to play aggressive? Fine. Let me show you Isabel. Let me show you Pavium. These two defensive beasts, Pat, are actually the best players in the game, which has been, I think it's kind of switching the idea of how this game's worked in the past around. You typically one of those aggressive players. Not this time around. Maybe Atriox is the only other defensive player you ever wanted, but you never wanted Isabel.
Nope.
And Pat,
nope.
I don't know how many videos I've made saying that Isabel sucks, and she's in our grand finals. She's right there.
I know, man. It's fucking crazy.
Screw me. Everyone is rolling over right now. All those Isabel fans, all 4 of you are just having a fucking ball about this. Let's go. It's underway. Spamming grunts right now. Normal opening. What are you expecting here? Who do you got for game number 1?
Who do I got?
Who do you
I got the Isabel wielding Pat Mac. He knows what the ladies like. All right? Obviously. But only, there's a stipulation. Only if they're computer animated or an artificial intelligence. Okay? Let's just be real. I've seen him play Serena. He's dope with her. I've seen him play Isabel. He's dope with her. That's the connection. He knows what the artificial intelligent ladies like. Okay? Pat Mac's going to be our man to watch here. Potentially one of the best players I've ever seen perform, period. Jeff Kill's going for actually a double harvester, then using Pavium's, I don't even remember what the hell the leader power is called, drops it down to increase the production time on his 2 harvesters as they are completed.
Would you suggest that with Savior, Metalloid falling out of the tournament, that the best player in the world right now is Pat Mac, especially if they pull off this victory?
I don't know, man. That
that
might be
too
able to
bold?
say. You might be able to say that.
Well,
2-0.
too bold?
2-0
Well,
against
yeah.
the GOATs. Okay? 2-0.
Wow. I mean, I still can't wrap my head around that. Same normal play coming out of Yoda. I imagine he's going to put the raid. Yep, there's a raid camp. We've got a double raid camp coming here from Jetty. I think we're going to see a very, very similar play. They're going to try to overwhelm them in the early part. And this might be the only weakness that Pat Mac and Jeff have. Can they hold off that rush? That was our question coming into this game, Pat. How are they going to be able to, how do they stop it?
I don't know. I honestly think that with enough spam of choppers and Hellbringers, they can really stop that. That's what I was saying they needed when Moose Pack was playing against Yoda's team. That's something they need to use and utilize in order to handle that opening play. Yoda's squad goes for an all-in sorts of opener, you know, where they say they have so many units that are just all showing up at the enemy base in a very early time. But if you get past that, they don't have much else. They don't have preparation. They aren't ready to have any comebacks after that rush. They probably have not seen a lot of people stop that rush. So if they can pull it off, I honestly think it would be an easy game win.
Do you think if they just hold them off, push them into the mid-game, it's over?
Yeah. 100%.
I would agree that the longer this goes on, the more this tilts in favor of Pat Mac and Jeff. Especially
I think I agree
with the Arbiter. I mean, what leader abilities are you going to use that late into the game? I prefer a defensive leader in the mid to late game.
I just love seeing Isabel do well for once. I just have to be
Also,
open and honest about that.
Let's not discount Pavium.
He's
He's an animal.
He's a savage.
And I heard a lot of doubts coming into this tournament. Hosts decide that Pavium was not that great of a leader. Guess what? Here he is, grand finals with none other than Isabel.
Yeah, and Jeff Kills goes for the enhanced production ability for Pavium every single time. He's actually upgraded, he's dropped it on his augmented extractor, 2 harvesters in main base while he's getting shrapnel rounds in order to get it in nearly half the time. I'm watching it here and it's, while I'm talking, this sentence, these things I've been saying, shrapnel rounds is done, and it was started when I started talking. Wow. How crazy is that? What are you going to do about that?
It's not even going to slow him down either. He's going to get that tech 2 quick, no doubt about it.
Oh,
and look
easily.
At he's able to get 3 at once.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
It's insane. Like, what are you going to do, right? Seen a lot of choppers.
Did he double upgrade that?
Did he double up? Oh, dude, he's swimming.
Yeah, he's got it. Right?
This guy's swimming, Nick. This guy is swimming. He's got supplies, he's got units.
They do scout this out. They've got those shrapnel mines, or shrapnel rounds, I should say, did a fair number against the infantry units that Savior and Reason had, or Savior and Metalloid had in the first semifinals. Will it be able to hold them off on this one? I think it will. Wow, snipers 2. And here comes a hollow decoy. They don't know exactly how many they have. It looks like more than they can
back up. That's it, period.
Just the hollow decoy on its own, that's enough to push him back, right?
Oh my god, that's crazy. I was not expecting the sniper play at all. It just came out of nowhere on my screen. I'm loving this play. They just directly countered that. They were like, you know what? We're just going to choppers and snipes. We're good to go. That's it. Arbiter's going to go enforcers and elites. And at the same time, guess what? Yap Yap's just going to go for grunts with methane wagon. We are good to go across all fronts if we just do this concept.
They've got the perfect counter with the shrapnel rounds. They've got the snipes. This is the perfect one.
Oh, yes. And, you know, they still have good vision in front of the map. Actually, Pat Mac is opting in for double turret on his main base. I don't know if that's necessary, man. Oh, boy, here we go. That's a good teleport there. That's exactly what he was waiting for, was that aggression. We need the rams of the choppers. Choppers are coming and going to do some serious numbers on Yoda's units. All of Yoda's units here are one-shot. You need to keep all of those units alive there that are all hollow decoyed. Very large rush here with all these units, too. Oh, my God.
It's a bit of a bold teleport.
Yeah, I definitely don't know if that was true. You need to micro these choppers back a little bit, though. That Arbiter is one-shotting some of these choppers. Oh, no. Wait a second. This is not over. I stand corrected. Having the double turret is most certainly going to help him beyond all means here. How? What just happened? What was that? 4 or 5 snipers and 8 choppers?
Did you see what Pavium just did to Pat Mac's base? helping him
Oh,
out.
yep. Look at that. Drops down. I didn't know you could do that on a teammate's basis. That's great.
I didn't either.
Get the ram off on all those units. Oh, no. He could
No,
have just
I don't know if ram's a good idea. You want to keep a little bit of a distance there. Don't take any more
good
damage
point
out of
from
that.
the methane as well. Yep.
Yeah.
Good job holding back. Just stay off to the side. You don't need to be in the middle of combat there.
They're just playing disciplined right now. If they can just survive this and not take too much damage from their base, I think this will tilt in favor.
Oh,
wow!
my
What
God.
a drop. That's going to stop this rush in its tracks. Arbiter's down. Everything's down.
Oh my.
Do they have enough units, though, to stop it officially?
Shade turrets are still just rinsing everything. That yap aggression is most certainly notable.
Those shade turrets last a long time. He needs to drop both methane wagons, though.
Yes.
That second one shot has to be dropped. There it is.
Absolutely. Jeff Kills also just
that's
bought.
to stop it.
Jeff Kills just expanded. If you can see on your mini map, he's decided to start taking a little bit better of a hold. And believe it or not, throughout that whole engagement, Yoda and Fam lost basically everything. Okay, Pat Mac didn't lose a building on his base. You know, Pat has everything. All right, Jeff has 2 bases now, and they're double pumping units. We're going to see Marauder and Warthog play right into Kodiaks come out of these guys very soon.
I hate to suggest that the game has just tilted already. Yoda has no upgrade on his base. He's not Tech 2. Jetty is now upgrading to Tech 2. Blue has a secondary base going on right now. They have Tech 2. It's definitely tilted in favor of Blue, like we suggested. They're already getting the Warthogs out. This game has drastically shifted.
Yeah, for sure. The Warthogs are most certainly going to help in this engagement as long as Pat Mac just does what he's good at doing, and that's not overcommitting with those hogs. Just doing a good job of just rinsing units every now and again, whenever they pop out. Not a big deal. Easily done. Double garage on his main base, needs to upgrade his supply pad, but everything else is fairly functional. Good thing for Pat Mac, he actually had 2 mini bases up and running throughout that whole engagement, so he was in no shortage of supplies or production facilities, so he's looking very good. And as I said, Jeff Kills now is on his second base, upgrading things, building more harvesters, getting his eco rolling while having double foundry for Marauder play. Pat Mac grabbing his expo right now as well. That's
Look at that. Does Pavium's ability speed up his production of locusts?
Oh, for certain.
Marauders.
Absolutely everything. Yep. You drop it on any building, doesn't matter if it's a main base, expansion, mini base, teammates. It all of a sudden improves your production times, upgrade times, whatever you're hitting. And he's been using it on his main base constantly. He has an augmented harvester, 2 augmented extractors, and 2 foundries, and his main base all hit by his ability right now on his main base. Okay? Just to give you some sort of idea. Getting all kinds of power, supply, and that explains why he had 6,000 plus power in that game against Metalloid and Savior as well.
Probably never stopped using it, and I don't think we acknowledged it enough in that game, or even at all.
That's definitely a huge part of it. Pat Mac right now is upgrading, I believe. Oh, he's actually getting Kodiak and Warthog and getting vehicle 1 or 2 at the moment. Trying to get a little bit better of your... That's really crucial, especially when you're Isabel, you bought an expansion. You're definitely going to be power heavy for a while. Pat Mac is sitting at 1,200 power, so he's going to be spending that on some upgrades, getting things rolling. I'm loving it.
And right now we've got a push coming from red a little bit. A lot of heavy grunts in that mix. I mean, it's just not an army composition you want to have right now, especially when they eventually...
Ooh, but
especially when they go up against blue.
Don't forget about the heavy grunt EMP, though. That is most certainly something that's underrated. Those Warthogs get on top of those units, all it takes is EMP and they'll lose everything. They definitely knew that Jeff had the base here, so that's a good spot on their part. Getting aggressive on it is most certainly a good idea. They could drop this base before Pat Mac and company even get there to defend. There comes the Pavium drop. Going to be doing a good amount of damage.
That base is going to drop.
Yeah,
could be a pretty crucial play, but they're going to lose a ton of units there.
Oh my god.
Maybe the base doesn't drop.
He's got an engineer on it right now. Oh, Pavium's...
this game is dead over if they don't kill him.
Pavium,
or if they don't kill that base.
Nope, that's it. This has got to be game. Every single one of these units got one shot from
They've lost all their units.
Mac blast
Whoa,
there.
look at all of Blue's units just
Wait
got
a
one-shotted.
second. What just happened? The EMP blast must have been or something along those lines. Here comes a teleport. Oh my, what just happened? Pavium hero ability is actually healing up that base very quickly. He has the power of at least 3 engineers. A Kodiak from Pat Mac just happens to be rolling in from all units. Oh,
we saw that earlier.
Yeah, you really need that. Locust coming in and Phantoms out of Yoda as well. They're going to be doing a serious number on some of these units. Hollow decoys dropping. Jeff might actually lose this Expo. There comes the super heal on it. Or I'm sorry, the super speed production ability from Pavium. With the shield coming up as well. Clutch play. That's actually going to be a huge help for him. That Pavium hero is a serious force to be reckoned with. Definitely doing a lot of damage. Also gives Pat Mac some time to get some more Warthog forces out there. Shade turrets all dropping. But you have all these ungarrisoned Phantoms, which really are cool, but a really big liability in my opinion. They're a lot of money, take a lot of time to make, and you don't have any units to put them in, or put in them. Sorry.
I think if they don't, I mean, I still think if they don't kill this base, that was just a massive fail. And it's going to end up setting them back pretty far, because, I mean, this was their chance to get back into this game.
Yeah,
again, you pointed out those
Phantoms
don't have anything in them. They're just easy pickings. The Wolverines. I mean, what a brilliant play to get that shield gen up in a perfect amount of time. Pavium's hero's leader ability had the heal going on the entire time. I mean, that was just a great play, great defensive play.
I'm very impressed right now. I'm actually amazed that they did hold that off. This means that pretty much it's a big snowballing effect on the way back. It all came down to just knowing, like, essentially what happened was Yoda and company pushed, Abusement Park pushed, they lost the engagement, and then what they did is pushed again immediately after when they had a sizable army and then lost that engagement as well. That's two massive engagements that you really need to win when you're committing all infantry armies like that, or else you're in a really bad spot going forward. Of course, Pat Mac actually doing a misclick there with his 8 or so Wolverines, losing a couple. They are splitting up their units, which are very,
I think they're just trying to converge. It could be a good play if they converge right here.
Yeah, there it goes. Too many wolves, though, in the mix. There goes a stasis on 2 of them.
He missed the stasis.
There comes the Lich as well. This is one of the best things that Jeff Kills most certainly has been doing in this game, is calling in a Lich aggressively and then not losing it. He has a couple times where maybe he's like overcommitted with the Lich, called in a bunch of Reavers against Metalloid. However, just like look how much damage it does. Just flying over here. It's a flying scarab for about a minute.
Also producing units out of it.
Yeah, doing whatever you want.
The vortex.
So what do you want to do? Oh, hey, look at this army. It's mostly infantry. I'm just gonna make a bunch of Rangers and then have them come right out, and it's
now they can kill that vortex just as a precaution, but it's very difficult to focus on that vortex when you've got other units around there. Plus you've got the Lich, and then there's Pavium's beam.
Ooh.
We're looking at just an absolute counter. I mean, this is just done perfectly. There goes that base.
Yep, the base.
Each are down to 1.
Yep, it's gonna be ugly. Now that Pat Mac and Jeff Kills have had 2 bases basically this entire game, they can get aggressive. Pat Mac doing a little bit of a scout with this Warthog getting picked off. Once again, still going for the Phantom plays out of Yoda. I'm not sure if I still agree with them. Phantoms are really cool and helpful if used properly, especially with those. Yeah, but look at this. He just flew it right over.
I think he's trying to get elite enforcers. I mean, is he trying to put anything in there? Because I mean, he's producing elite enforcers.
He's putting some enforcers in there.
Yeah, but
Phantoms are too expensive for their use, in my opinion.
And they just don't put enough damage.
Anything over 200 supply is expensive when it's not a good combat unit, especially something like that.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Except those NGs, baby.
That's right.
And
NGs, boy.
NGs.
Uh-huh. Well, they're definitely worth it. You know, they're fairly cheap, right? Respectively.
They're 230, and they do a significant amount of damage.
Right.
I mean, and look at the patience. By the way, that Lich is still there. And there she goes.
There she goes flying away. Go home, baby. Go home, baby.
Oh, while the Lich was distracting us, they have pushed.
Oops,
they're getting a little scouty scout going.
Oh, there's a teleport. Aggressive teleport on top of those units. Oh, that's a good choke, though. Oh, there goes the Mac Blast. Yep, bye. There goes every single unit that was on that teleport. Unfortunately for Yoda, the teleport radius is the same as a Mac Blast. There goes a Pavium Mine Drop, which is so good. Look at that. Kills, what is that? Almost killed like 4 or 5 heavy grunts there. Arbiter retreats back. In order
Here
to get
comes
out of
Light
combat.
Blue, by the way, on the far right. I mean, right now, one thing Pat Mac well, I guess they do have it. Okay, maybe it's just not lighting up on my screen. Do they have the center power node? It's not lighting up on mine, but...
yeah, they do have, they have complete power node control except for that one in front of,
okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's still white on my screen,
Jedda's army, yep.
I can say that pisses me off. They've done that 2 games now.
Oh, yeah. And then that Pavium hero, man, he's strong. He does a lot of damage. Put him in that garrison. As soon as
And
you
you can also heal your units. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, selective healing. It's ridiculous. A bunch of hunters here coming out of Yoda is definitely not going to be enough. Here comes the massive red force from Jeddah as well. They are going to pull back until they're both together. I'm seeing a little bit of combat here. It looks like who's pushing up here? Yoda actually, this is what he was doing with the Phantom play, Nick. Instead of using a teleport from Shipmaster, he's actually flying the Enforcers across the map to deal with base damage. But of course, with the speed of the Warthogs that he has, I mean, he can just kill all these things very easily.
So he's using those in place of Locusts?
Yeah, if swords.
Yeah.
Ooh, the stasis did land on half of those, but I mean, you're not going to be able to kill that base.
We do have an engagement going down right here in the center. Pretty significant one as well.
Oh my, that's actually a double. That's 2-on-1 army-wise. Oh, but there's a Pavium drop. And
wow,
look at all of those units, man.
Everything is gone.
Everything's one shot, still dropping.
Everything's gonna drop.
Wow, dude, that's crazy.
What's that? So what you thought was a good engagement there, just in general pushing that, looked decent. You had Hunters going up against the Marauders and Warthogs. Guess what? Not so much.
Yep, and keep in mind at the same time,
That
was
control.
a 1v2. 1v2.
Yeah.
Jeff Kills versus Yoda and Jeddah. Jeff Kills did take them all down. This combo that they're running is phenomenal, for sure, for a lot of scenarios. So they're definitely doing a good job.
The way that they're running it, right? It's just perfectly executed. They're making their it looks nice. I don't think they'll kill the base on this one. They do have a bunch of mines down on the left side.
I don't know, man. This base is unprotected. I think Yoda's main base is going to drop here. And then once it does drop, they'll just do a simple walk, or Jeddah and Yoda will just self their bases and resign. Too many Gauss Hogs. Too many problems. So many Warthogs,
The Gauss meta has returned from Halo Wars 1. That was the last time we saw it. Game 1, Pat.
Enemy player disconnected. Let's go, boys! That's a great opening to our grand final.
Here we are. Any closing thoughts on Game 1? I mean, I thought it was just a beautiful stop. They countered it well, and that was it.
Yeah.
Nothing else to it.
Yeah. I honestly think that the Phantom play from Yoda might have been the reason for that, the failure. Oh my god, he goes to machine the Phantom!
Leader power ready.
What's he gonna do?
Level 2 researched.
You know, it's demoralizing when you make a Phantom and then that Phantom gets hijacked.
Yep.
It goes to the machine.
Power ready.
Yoda, take it and fly away. Take it and fly away, Yoda. Don't let your buddy die. No, he died. We're just gonna watch as this Phantom explodes in a fiery blaze. So peaceful. Death is so sweet. Then we have a squad of Hunters as well. What does it come down to? When you had that first push with all the infantry units and then you lost, you really need to swap into something else. They both continued doing heavy grunts as well. Heavy grunts and enforcer play. And I mean, when you're making Phantoms and putting enforcers in them, your enemy in that same time is fortifying themselves, upgrading to Tech 2, getting Warthogs, and it really does not help you out as an individual. So we're going to have to see if... I know that Jetty and Yoda can most certainly change some things up. Maybe we'll have a more competitive game too. We'll see.
So game number 2, Pat, of our grand finals is underway using one of the DLC maps from Awakening the Nightmare. Interested to see how this will play out. Remember, there is a mini base in the center of the map. It's going to be crucial to take that over. Plenty of mini bases actually around the entire map. We'll see if Pavium wants to use Mega Turrets. Maybe this game comes down to a split down the center, and those Mega Turrets come into play as we saw in the previous semifinals A series. We'll see how that pans out. What is Yoda and Jetty going to have to do? I think they've just got to go Tech 2 quicker and not necessarily hang on to those grunts for as long as they did in Game 1. What do you think they've got to do, though?
Yeah, exactly that. They have to switch something up. You can't get super aggressive and have such a large number of infantry units. It bites you in the ass later on in the game. So that's all it comes down to, is I think maybe coming up with a different strategy in order to execute a lot of those starting units for Jeff Kills and Pac Mac. Do something that takes down choppers. Go for a quick tech into Cyclops if you're able to do it that quickly, right? Like, figure it out. You have to try at least something different, or you're just going to get completely overwhelmed again.
Now, since they are both, they both are banished, they'll have to swap into Hunters for that quick play, which do cost a little bit of money and a little bit of extra power. So what that means is you have to get that map control early in the game if you want to produce those units. Get the power nodes on your side as soon as possible. It needs to be the utmost priority. Get the power globs. I don't know what they are, what they're called, but you need to get those globs on the field as quickly as possible as well, and not waste any power on units that you don't need.
Right. Another concept as
super
well
effective.
is, instead of taking the fight to their front door, take it to yours. We said the same concept with Savior Metalloid, is they love to sit on their side of the map because they can rally their units to their buildings much quicker. So, why not try that again, right? Try that with your own style. Take your massive army, keep it at your front door, and try to get them to come to you.
Only problem with that is giving up that center control. Maybe not necessarily sit. I mean, so let's point back to Savior and Metalloid. They like to play deep in their base, and they like to utilize Shipmaster's abilities to teleport across the map.
Right.
Problem with that is you give up center control. Those Kodiaks are so crucial. They come and play. We saw Pat Mac and Jeff utilize that center. They get that height advantage. The Mega Turrets also came into play. So I don't know if you could sit that far back, but maybe you get comfortable towards the center of the map rather. I think that might have been Savior and Metalloid's biggest flaw, as they also defended with Locust, which we saw goes to the machine. So hopefully that mistake isn't made again. Again, you can't play too far back. You want that center control more than anything.
Right. Yep. I 100% agree with you on that.
They don't have teleport from Shipmaster, so they can't necessarily do that like the previous team did. So again, getting that center control, you really can't get flanked necessarily like that. So you want that center control.
Right. And, Pat Mac actually bought the mini base in the middle and then went double barracks to kind of get aggressive with snipers, I believe. Yep, I'm already seeing one sniper queued up. I'm kind of on the player cam right now just to see where he is scooting around. See, as once again, this is kind of like the Yoda team's thing, as they get everything together infantry-wise, and they kind of move together as a big ball. And that's great, except when you have leader powers like, say, Pat Mac, where his tier 3 leader power is a Mac Blast that he can just drop and kill literally everything the second you show up at the front door. Right? Big problems like that. Pavium as well, also super annoying. And you have to manage to capitalize on that. Like I said, maybe opt into something different, Maybe run a different leader and try choppers next time. But it all comes down to that initial engagement and how well they do.
Getting those enforcers out as well. Maybe if you utilize those enforcers a little bit better in the early part of the game, you might be able to shift some things. We do see those flamers. We do see suicide grunts in the early part right now. So far, good pickup on Yoda's side. Those choppers just came in for a nice sweep as well to take out those suicide grunts. It's going to be absolutely crucial for those choppers to pick off those suies as soon as possible. And you do see that enforcer play coming into effect as well.
And this is good that they're getting aggressive here, but why not collaborate together to pick a side? Pick it, like say, let's target the choppers, let's target the flamers, because
you can see them splitting them a little bit right now.
Yeah, it's like you have to figure out where you want to go, because they definitely can't just shoot that mini base and drop it at this point, which they really want to do. It's just because of the fact that he's got a double barracks, all these supporting choppers and infantry units that are just going to keep pouring out. You're going to keep dropping the cannon fodder and really just hurting the starting infantry force here for the red team.
It looks like blue eventually is just going to overwhelm that, and yellow is crippled. I mean, yellow and red are crippled. Again, getting the center is just, if you can do that in the immediate part of the game, you've taken over, especially when you have an aggressive player like Pat Mac using those flamers. They've got them running. Game has shifted in favor. They need to stop these suicide grunts, sacrifice a chopper into that. Not going to be the case. Those snipers are doing a significant amount of damage from that perch, though, and picking off those suies as well.
I really want to commend Jeff Kills on his ability to keep his choppers alive. He's so good at scooting and shooting. He's doing a great job just keeping those units alive, because it really matters. Like, as soon as it gets to the 5-minute mark, you're going to be happy you had like 4 more choppers than the other guy across the field.
Especially, you can just use them as scout units as well. Right. Once you're making that transition, you need him to die or something. Just simply.
And right as I say that, he does lose every single chopper in a second. It's just
he just sacrificed them all. Look like.
That's how it is.
I still think blue's got this. I think it's a bit of an imaginary push on red side. I don't think they necessarily are trying to get control, because they don't have the means to do it. I think they're just trying to show them, don't necessarily push us. Don't push our main bases yet.
Right.
Kind of like a flex play.
Ooh, nice EMP on that chopper there, too, from that heavy grunt. It does a serious amount of damage. Still middle map. Like I said, Pat Mac still had this double barracks play this whole time. Hasn't been contested enough. It's been there. The fights have been in front of it, but they haven't been able to kill it. As you can tell, that's what Yoda and... it's just basically what they see. They're like, okay, yeah, you know what we need to do? is we need to keep getting aggressive as possible, as much as possible, on top of these infantry units. If we kill them and kill this mini base, then we have a good chance of at least attacking their base, and doing some damage. But they can't do anything until this mini base is dropped.
I think we'll see a pickup from PatMac. I mean, we need to see a pickup at least from someone on a secondary base right now. This is the point where you need to make that transition into a second base, give yourself the advantage going into the mid to late game.
All over the place. Methane Wagons finally getting contact in those flamethrowers. PatMac might have looked away for a second.
Look at those snipers in that garrison, though. Just easily taking pop shots.
Just drop them one unit at a time. That's all you need.
Yeah. And it's so subtle, you don't even notice it. They're not in action necessarily. They're pretty far away. Probably don't even realize that there's snipers there.
Yep, Methane Wagons, this is finally their retreat. They're like, you know what, if we can kill that mini base, let's go kill the other one. So they're going to go all the way to the blue side and kill their mini base instead. I love this. I don't necessarily know that's a...
Yeah, I just don't necessarily know if this is like an equal trade, so to speak.
It's not.
Do we have anyone who's upgraded into the secondary, into Tech 2 at least?
Yeah, actually, when I take a look here, Jeff Kills is actually already Tech 2. Throwing down his production booster ability leader power, and PatMac is actually upgrading to Tech 2 as well as we speak. So both these guys sticking to their normal guns, which is just, hey, get the quick tech. If I can't deal with the army, that's fine. By the time they show up, I'll be able to make some counter units. Whatever.
So they've both transitioned into Tech 2 much quicker than Yoda. Again, Yoda and Jetty, they haven't even clicked it yet. Tech 2 is not anything that's happening. Jetty's still pumping out heavy grunts right now. Yoda's still pumping out suicide grunts. I guess this is their push. This is what we saw last game. If they fail on this push, this game is over.
Yeah,
they don't have the means to push into the mid game. Here we go. We'll see how this pan.
Oh,
the shield generator.
Good timing, Jeff Kills.
At the right moment.
Yep, that's
Flamers are coming back in.
That game sense. You knew something was fishy. Something was gonna happen.
Suicide grunts just took out a good portion of those flamers. The problem is, do they have enough units to kill it?
That almost did so much more damage. Also dropping, yep, there we go, a couple of extra things. Shade turrets are now coming down at the same time.
Maybe blue doesn't have the units to stop this.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened. I think they might have misinterpreted the amount of enemies, because these enforcers from Yoda are actually just going to rinse a lot of these. I think taking advantage on those flamethrowers and just killing everything was perfect. Jeff Kills, as I was commending him for not losing his choppers, you know, he lost every single chopper in that middle engagement. I think that's really what cost him that early round, because all of these extra cannon fodder grunts, heavy grunts, none of them are dying. You know, and I think Yoda and Jetty might have seen that. They might be like, you know what, we need to just take out the choppers next time, we'll be fine. And I think that's what they did.
Well, Pavium is out and about right now, which could be a bit of a different factor here if he can get off a couple shots.
Yeah, because they can one shot. Like he actually does a serious amount of damage to some of these units.
Just took out 4 or 5 units right there. This is going to come down to PatMac. Can he get those hogs out quick enough to defend? I cannot believe it. I mean, PatMac's here to save the day. He got the hogs out. He's going to start picking off these one shots. I don't think it's over yet.
Yeah, but the EMPs on the hogs from the heavy grunts actually do a lot of damage. I agree with you, though. It's definitely not. It's not all said and done yet. PatMac still has the opportunity.
Leader points are available now.
Make some more units. He's a garage now. He swapped to. Looks like he's got how many garages? He has 3 garages now total. So he's doing some serious damage here. Trying to figure out what to do next. I'm actually gonna follow his moving camera here. I want to see how he plans on defending Jeff's base. Jeff has dropped a heal on himself as well.
Just to note, we've got some phantoms coming from Yoda, as we saw last game, so that wasn't a mistake, and Jetty is now getting the last pad on his base right now.
That Pavium drop there. Actually, he's going to do a good amount of damage, but did miss a lot of units.
Not enough.
Man, look at this. The methane wagons are surrounding. Pat just lost so many warthogs there. That's very unfortunate. Yeah, there we go. Double pumping warthogs again. Trying to keep it up. He actually getting vehicle upgrade too. If Jeff loses his base, it's obviously game.
Well, he got his hero leader back out, and he's going to get that heal on it.
Yeah, Phantoms coming in across the map are actually going to be like a big help there. Teleporting on top of Fabium here, and the Marauders. Warthogs are coming in. What are they doing? They're trying to ram the Enforcers, it seems. Yeah, and look at that. Pavium has actually managed to heal Jeff's base nearly entirely, even though he will go down. He did heal a lot of units there.
Vehicle level 1 researched.
Vehicle level 1 just went up as well for our man Pat Mac. Doing a good amount of damage here. This is such a back and forth struggle, even though it's at someone's front door. Nick, you noticing that?
Yeah, again, the Warthog play is really keeping them in, especially with giving... I mean, looking at Pavium's leader ability, anytime he loses his hero, he utilizes, what is it called, where he drops in, and he's making the War Council go quicker, he's getting Pavium's hero back out. He's utilizing his hero abilities pretty well.
Oh, that's a good back! Oh, did a serious amount of damage to that methane wagon. But Jetty did get his units out of the way, too.
But you're gonna see him get that the hero leader back out. And it's going to help him get his shields back on his base.
Yeah, he's just going to heal the base again, yeah. Wait. The hero is locked inside the base, and it's healing the base. What?
No way.
That's not a thing, is it?
There's something else that could be healing it?
No. He's inside the base, and he's healing the base.
Oh, no.
A permanent heal on the main base.
But the disadvantage with that,
oh, man.
yeah. But the disadvantage with that is that you have to get other units out.
Right.
Otherwise, it's a 1-on-2.
Right. But I mean,
so although it worked for a set,
yeah.
I'll take it. He's gonna hold them off.
Yeah.
What an impressive stop here.
Oh my. Wow. I bet you didn't know about that and just learned that right there.
I don't know how many people even knew about that. He probably didn't even know about that.
Yeah, that's crazy. There you go. Pat Mac once again sticking to the Wolves Warthog combination. Watch out for that Arbiter. That Raging Arbiter is going to kill everything. Give me some flashbacks to Halo Wars 1. Now, here's another situation I want to bring up real quick, Nick. While they were attacking Pavium's front door, I get that you had to commit to that and that you felt like if you didn't, nothing else would happen. Imagine if you would have taken out Pat Mac's mini base right here. You gave him free Warthogs, essentially, for a good couple of minutes. You know, just now you're taking it out. If you just want to say recollected yourselves, brought yourselves back to the middle, or at least set your units at it. Yeah, you know, might as well. There goes the heal. And Pavium's here to save the day, so Pavium can start healing the base as well. And Pavium's heal is ridiculously strong. So there you have it.
And I think the game has completely shifted
again
in favor of blue, which I don't know how many times we've seen that in this entire tournament so far. They need to pick up secondary bases, though. This is the time to do it. It looks like they're both making a move for it. It looks like Yellow's going to try to pick up a secondary base as well. I mean, you should have got it. I mean, Yoda. Here's my issue, right? Again, you make that commitment. You push towards blue. You don't take out the center mini base like you suggested, but you also don't pick up a main base or a secondary base for yourself as well. You didn't rush properly. It's 14 minutes into the game. You just now got your base. You could have had that about 5 minutes ago, which would have ended it.
It potentially would have, yeah. If you want to know something crazy, Pat Mac is actually sending a unit out here. I believe Yoda just purchased an expansion on the far side of the map, and Pat Mac was like, "Hey, I was going to buy that base for his buddy for Jeff kills as well." But it does look like, yep, they will stop Yoda's expansion there. That aggressive expo sneaking it will not work against.
And guess what? Now they don't have any expos.
Right. That's it.
And blue team's going to have 2 once they kill the red over on that side. Yep, there it is. Pick it up, and then they'll each have a secondary base. Looks like yellow's now picking up a secondary base as well. Still, game has shifted in favor of blue.
Yeah, Pat Mac just got Gauss Cannon as well, which is going to be a very big help for him. Yoda
this is going to be an incredible kill.
Phantom.
Yeah, just crushed everything.
You dropped a Mac Blast? Oh.
Dropped the Mac Blast, just crushed everything.
Yeah, everything's one shot now. All it takes is one Marauder.
And what you saw was not even all of it. About half the units just completely fell off, like just died.
They went into orbit?
They're no longer with us, Pat.
Right, rest in peace. It's okay. Yoda did take the expansion to the top left, but believe it or not, Pat Mac has already set his rally point at that expo. So I'm sure he'll get a Warhawk there eventually to spot what's going on. A Phantom is still flying around the map, doing a little bit of scouting and damage at the same time, just being annoying. It's crucial sometimes, you really have to do it. All in all, I think as long as our boys, Pat Mac and Jeff Kills, keep all their units together, they'll be doing very good.
You notice what they're doing as well? They took out that mini base on the side. They're trying to control this hill right here for power no control. they aren't pushing straight to the main base, which is what
Yeah.
Yoda and Jetty did. They're taking it a little bit more methodically, and it's gonna, I think, pay off in the long run.
Yeah, Jeff Kills just lost his entire army of about... It was probably over 3,000 supply and power worth of an army. It wasn't a giant one, but it was most certainly an army nonetheless, which is not good. Of course, at the same time, when we look at the minimap, you see this massive amoeba of blue kind of flopping its way across the map. That is Pat Mac's massive Warthog army. He's doing some serious damage and continuing to be aggressive as much as possible. Finally, these snipers are going to get targeted,
Here
but the
comes
Lich,
the Lich.
that's why. He doesn't need an army. He's got a Lich. That's why. That makes sense.
That's, you know,
There
when in
it
doubt.
goes. Lich it out, baby.
Yeah.
Grunt Dome does drop. That is the first time I see the Grunt Dome utilized from these players, I believe, in this series. Most certainly one of the most
But
annoying
we saw it in the
things.
last one.
Oh, okay. It must have been for like a second then, right?
It wasn't very effective.
Yeah, right. There comes the Pavium Mines, which Yoda and Fam do not realize are there. Getting a lot of the units
I mean,
one
this
shot.
Lich is going to rinse everything as well. Jeff's not even trying to produce anything out of the Lich. That's the beauty of the Lich itself. You have the ability to have this beast of an air unit that just kills everything, and you also have the ability to produce units, but you don't have to do
Right.
both simultaneously. And it looks like we've got Dark Blue Pat Mac pushing straight into Yoda's base with those hogs. He does have Hollow Decoy down as well.
Our base is under attack.
Man, that's awesome. Do you know if you can select the units with the Lich, Nick, to do damage?
I don't know.
Because I wonder if you could. Because if you could focus fire with that thing, that would be ridiculous. I doubt you can, but it's just a thought.
I mean, it doesn't even need to focus fire. It just kills it, and it just backed up into a mine and just took out another methane wagon. Everything is falling apart for Red right now. Look at the picks going on at Dark Red's base. Jetty, I don't know if they have a response to this. They're trying to get the hunters. Hunters aren't moving quick enough. I think the meta of the hogs, the Gloss Hogs, Pat, have returned. We haven't seen since Halo Wars 1.
Oh,
Yoda doesn't have an
found a
upgrade
base.
on this base.
Pat Mac's like, oh, hey, look at that. It's like, ooh, piece of
and-
candy, you know? Ooh, piece of candy.
Yeah. Oh, you were chasing me, and then I accidentally fell into your secondary base. Let me go ahead and take care of that.
Be right back.
We do have yellow. We have some yellow units behind Light Blue's base. Looks like a Banshee and some Enforcers as well. Now, if he can drop that shield, it would be pretty nice to take out that augmented extractor, slow them down a little bit. Again, Pavium does have that ability to regenerate supplies and power much quicker, so it probably wouldn't be too much of a setback, but nonetheless, be a nice thing to take out.
Yeah, Pat Mac did lose a little bit of his army in that engagement. At the same time, Pavium just being able to, defend the Enforcer push. Like, that Enforcer push, that's exactly what Yoda needs to do. Is use his macro micro game as strongly as possible, and then just attack 6 places at once, do a couple drops here and there, and then just keep the aggression up.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't even effective. He couldn't even kill the one-shot augmented extractor, Pat. Again, is RB Enforcers, are they better than Locust Shippy? No.
No. At the end of the
I
day,
don't
no.
think you can use them in the same capacity. Enforcers are meant to rush. Locusts are meant to counter.
Yeah.
You flank really hard with them. I don't think they're being utilized properly here by Yoda. I could be wrong, but so far we're not seeing anything positive out of them. Couldn't even kill a one-shot extractor.
Couldn't. Nope.
If anything. Now this would be a big kill from Red, and it looks like they will drop Pat Mac's base, which it's going to turn out to be a big play. Dark Blue is taking a long route all the way around, though, trying to get the flank on. This game's still wide open.
Yeah, it's not over yet. For certain. Definitely good aggression there. Leader powers are most certainly getting more and more and more in the blue team's favor as the game goes on. Doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Doesn't mean there's nothing that Yoda and Fam can do. So, Team Abusement Park is still abusing.
And they're just going to walk right up to this front door. Jeff does have a pretty weak base right now.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to
Dark
Jeff.
Blue's got to turn around.
Jeff hasn't really been able to support himself. This is actually really bad. Pat Mac's going to do a trade on the far side. Oh, that's Yoda's main base, though. Might potentially be worth it. Pavium's going to try to show up here as well. I'm sure they do almost have a Mac blast back. They had a couple of their leader abilities they can use their advantage. And that should most certainly help the situation. But all they have to do is
This game's
really
going to turn
focus
into a
on the
base trade, though.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm
One
totally
Mac
fine
blast
with
in that center should do a significant amount of damage. Maybe they're waiting for Ghost in the Machine as well.
Yeah, be careful with your Pavium. You're going to lose Pavium. You know what he should do is kill that Pavium. Oh, he doesn't have a War Council on his base. I was going to say, lock your base, put your Pavium in it, and just have a never-ending healing base. That's what you have to do.
Now it doesn't make it invincible. We should note it just heals it consistently.
Right. I wonder if
They are
engineers
really
do
just
that.
they're really maybe they are committed to the base trade. I don't think it's gonna pan out in favor of there's Ghost in the Machine. Notice how they took the Banshees so they could shoot at the Hunters, but I just don't think it's gonna be
Yeah.
enough. And Pat Mac needs more turrets.
Yeah, Pat Mac's still getting aggressive on this yellow base.
Our base is
But there are 6 shade turrets rinsing all of his warthogs as well. This is not good, Pat Mac. You're gonna lose.
He's got to make the kill right there.
Yeah, he needs his Mac Blast back, and he will have it soon here in the middle of the attack.
This game I think is over. I don't necessarily like the base trade idea. It rarely works. If you look at Jeff, maybe if he had an upgraded secondary base before he lost that main base, this would be different. Because eventually, I mean, Jeff can't produce too many units right now. He's going to try to commit to the Marauder since it's the quickest thing he can make, but he's not going to be able to produce enough. I guess he has to find Yoda's base, secondary base right now, and get him running. That's the only way you can do this, but he's got to find it. He can't confront this army.
Yeah.
He would lose.
Pat Mac just handed a lot
Let's
of
get
power
a
to Jeff
Mac
as
Blast.
well.
supply pad constructed.
There's
Oh,
the
there
Lich.
comes the Lich. That's what the power feed was for. I don't know if you should drop it though. You mean, what's the point of doing this? They're just gonna keep walking on the next base. They're not gonna deal with this Lich. Oh, Pat Mac might decide to engage it? I'm not sure.
Okay, Pat Mac, I just saw his icon shift over toward where Yoda's main base is now. This could turn out to be a nice play. He's got to pick that main base off though right now. Somehow, well, Jeff has a shield on his secondary base. It could slow it down, but I just don't know if they have the ability to deal with it. I think this game ultimately lies right now on Jetty's ability to stay alive.
Yeah.
He's the only one with a functioning base, so this game really does rely on him. Look at Pavium's ability. It's not going to do as much with Grunt Dome. There's Methane. Yoda's going to lose his base. Yoda's committed to pretty much not defending a base.
There's the Mac Blast.
Here's the Mac Blast.
Oh, what
Didn't
happened?
do that much.
It didn't do anything, I think.
Does the methane cause a
I'm
heal
not sure.
as well?
No.
That did not look like it did anything.
Ready.
The Grunt Dome might have been up effectively, potentially. I'm not sure. Might just be so many animations that you can't tell. Jeff's base does go down,
Supply pad
and
constructed.
we're down to a couple Warthogs here for Pat Mac. He's trying to skirt around the map and find him. Of course, all it takes is a couple of those hunters to find the hogs, even though it takes him 25 years to get across the map. That's all you really need. Yep, there
This
goes
one's
another
over.
base.
Game 2 is going to go to RTS Yoda and Jetty.
Are you sure? I don't think it's over yet.
It's over. Jeff has been eliminated. Look at Yoda. I mean, look at
Jeff. Poor Jeff.
look at Pat Mac's army. It's really nothing.
Yeah, they're gonna go for a defensive.
Yoda's
play.
going to be able to pick up a base eventually, and all they have to do is sit in front of it.
Yeah.
What's your takeaway from this game? I'm a little bit
They are not.
impressed.
They are not invincible.
No.
That's what I just learned.
Not at all.
You know,
Definitely a lot of mistakes on playing together. For Blue, I think they needed to take control of the center and hold it. You know what also, as much as we criticize Yoda and Jetty for their inability to win on that push that they did that lasted, but the one thing that push did was it lasted for about 5-6 minutes, and it really held them back
Yeah,
for
for
a
sure.
very long time.
I
So
still-
maybe that's more of it.
I still think the biggest problem overall was the
Fire base
fact that that Jetty did end up, or not Jetty, sorry, that Jeff Kills lost all of his choppers in the early game. That's such a
Yeah.
big part of what went wrong. And
Went for the Ram.
Yeah, and that, like, if he would have kept at least 6 or 7 or 8 of those alive out of the 10 or so he made, then Pat Mac would have been left to fend for himself on that initial attack. Yeah, a couple of Wardogs here did get caught. The EMPs are flying out, doing a lot of damage to him. Pat Mac's trying to run the 2-base play. It's not necessarily working.
Our base is under attack.
Yeah, there you go. A couple more Warthogs getting picked off. And I think Pat Mack realizes that he's SOL.
So let's take a look toward map number 3, Pat. And this is a best of 5 series. We've got Bedrock next. Who do you favor for Bedrock?
Honestly, I think that the Isabel play might give them a little bit of an upper hand, just because of the awkwardness of the map and how many teleports there are.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, the way these games are going, it's so back and forth, there's no real way to just, like, convince yourself of what's going to happen. Or make a valid guess, you know?
Yeah. All right. We'll move on to game number 3 now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are underway for game number 3. It is currently tied 1-1 for both of these teams. It is really awesome. I love seeing a heated match. We've had nothing but 2-0 sweeps in the semifinals. Spoiler alert. Go back and watch those if you haven't, especially that game, what was it?
Semifinals A.
Oh, my
yeah.
God.
I mean, what a pleasure.
What just happened?
We'll be talking about that one a couple of years down the line when Halo
For
Wars
sure.
2 is put in the grave by Halo Wars 3. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Pat,
Did you know that Halo Wars 3 was leaked? Did you know that?
was it?
All right, we'll get to that in another video. Check back in the channel next week. I'll talk about that.
Teaser.
We're going to start off here with the boys in blue. We got Pat Mack not playing for Team NVS if you guys follow competitive esports. And then we got Jeff Kills running a chopper off the start. These boys love their Pavium Isabel combo. It has proven to work and beaten some of the best players in the game. So let's see where they go from there.
Who has to win this game? Obviously, it's game 2. It's a best of 5. First of 3 wins it. But who is the team that needs this victory more than the other?
I think Pat Mack does. I think he has a
Yeah.
lot to prove, for sure. You know,
I
no
agree.
offense to Jeff Kills. Jeff Kills. Let's talk a little bit about their legacy here, Nick. How was this team formed?
Okay, so initially, I can't remember who Jeff joined in with. I think it was Harley or Hardy. Harley, I think it was.
Yeah, Harley's a good
and
player.
then and then I got a email saying we're switching it up. Pat Mack is now going to be my second player. So I mean, this team was formed a little bit later in the turn, or later in the registration process. So I guess, how long have they been practicing together? That's the big question you gotta ask. How long
Probably
have they been trying
days.
to put these strategies together? Definitely probably not as long as Savior and Metalloid, who just tinker with the game every day, all day, and same with Yoda.
Agreed.
So I would agree with you that Blue has to win this game right here. They can't let Yoda and Jetty take control of this series. Otherwise, I think it's going to be 3-1. I don't know if I necessarily see this going to 5 anyways, but and we saw them dominate this map earlier. Probably do it again.
Yeah, you know, honestly, I could see them doing it. You know, it all comes down to Pat Mack trying to regain his legacy as well. Because, of course, in the last TVG tournament, he was knocked out by Metalloid and Savior, and he 2-0'd him. He's climbed the hardest rung in the ladder, and now he has to keep going.
No stopping now, especially considering that Savior took out Yoda in that 1v1 tournament and in the 2s tournament as well last time around. So the championship is up in the air again. For any of you guys who have not seen our season or our grand finals season 1, that was grand. I think the crown went to Udpu and Simic. The 2v2 tournament then went to Simic and Udpu, it went to Savior and Metalloid, who played against Simic. Udpu took him out. That was season 2 champ, and now season 3 is up in the air. It's not going to be a repeat, so we could potentially have 3 different teams who are champions.
Which is awesome.
We have a champions tournament.
It just
a
goes
little
to
round
show
robin.
you don't know who the best in the world are. You know, you truly
And
don't.
it changes.
It's changing constantly. People are proving themselves better and better every day, and the leaderboards show it, and so do these tournaments.
And here we go, making a lot of push towards the center. This time around, they're going to need those choppers out, and they're going to need to keep them alive. They're going to need more choppers than they had last time as well. Looks like they're doing that. Need to get that shrapnel round out as soon as possible as well.
One question I have for Yoda is why he doesn't incorporate more enforcers off the start. Why not do one of the building killer opening rushes where you have a double raid camp, 4th and 5th on your base, you have an upgraded extractor, and then you're just pumping like crazy. I get the build is definitely more all-in, but you are able to incorporate at least one mini base, and you still have a great army. I feel like grunt squads with elites are really not as viable as enforcers are early game.
I would agree with you on that. But these shrapnel round choppers, I mean, if you've got enough, it really doesn't matter what infantry the enemy pushes out. They're
Right.
going to, I mean, especially in this early game, they're going to pick them off.
Right, and that
Especially
furthers
with
my
that flamer.
point. Also, with the stasis grenade that enforcers have, you can do a number on choppers, an absolutely ridiculously large amount of damage. Not only do they take off nearly a third or a half of their health with every land, but they also get them, you know, so they can't micro the choppers, and they're basically a waste at that point.
We had a big
small
engagement
critique.
going on in the center. This might dictate how the rest of this this early game's gonna play out. Suicide Grunt's blowing up. We need to get those choppers a little bit further back. There they go. This looks like it favors blue, especially since they are on this ramp as well. A little bit deceiving when you've got a few extra cannon fodders in there.
Yeah. It's just very
I
interesting
think
to
the
see.
majority of those are heavy grunts.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. Was having Jeff keep his choppers alive is one of the most important parts of it. And I mean, look at that. The Arbiter Slash can kill those bastards in one hit, it seems like.
And now they're just going to push back a little bit, play it safe, hold that center control, take control power nodes. And now we're seeing the early game tilt right in favor of red, which is expected. I mean, these guys are rushers. Their leaders are built around that rush. It's almost like Pat Mac and Jeff are just kind of doing a little bit of a makeshift rush, considering that Pavium and Isabel don't necessarily have a rushing strategy or rushing components to them.
Right.
Do you expect this kind of play, but they definitely need to take some sort of control here, or at least slow them down, because they are continuously pushing, taking these power nodes.
Supply
Yeah,
pad
see, a couple of overstep choppers there are gonna get picked off, losing 2 of them. Definitely needs to micro the one-shot ones to the back. Keep up with the dancing. See how they do.
We've got a far right push coming here from Yellow. He's got his, I think he's going straight onto, and look at Pavium just helping out. Isabel right there. And then we've also got Yellow pushing up to Isabel's main.
Yeah, it's such
Could have
a cool
well,
concept.
they caught him split. They caught him split. Red's going to lose a good portion of its units. Ooh, might be able to get away.
Oh,
Good
my.
distraction there.
Yeah.
But Yellow is pushing up. Nope, Yellow's not. Yellow is, Yellow's not. I can't tell. Yellow can't make up their mind.
Oh, there's the rage mode in the
Arbiter
Arbiter.
is a raging.
He's raging!
constructed.
Man, Arbiter can one-shot choppers. That's crazy. Not necessarily, but pretty close to it.
Supply pad upgrade complete.
Yoda has incredible control of the Arbiter there, just manually selecting every single chopper.
Teleport
There's the
in.
big teleport because he showed up a little late. Look at the Suicide Grunt connections, man. Arbiter's still going crazy on those choppers, man. One after the other. Getting rammed now.
Our base is under
He's got to
attack.
micro those choppers a little bit better, no? I mean, they're just sitting stagnant right there.
That one comes from Halo Wars 1 practice. There's a Mac Blast! Oh,
That
nice
40%
connect there.
reduction by the engineer is going to stall that, and Blue has lost a good, pretty much everything.
Pretty much everything. Oh my,
Again,
what is
we're seeing a
happening?
very similar play as last time. They didn't get control of the early game quick enough. Yoda's taken over, Jetty's taken over. It all comes down to those Suicide Grunts and that Arbiter, I really do think so. And, I mean, Jetty's got to, I mean, not Jetty, I'm sorry, Pat Mac, they've got to micro a little bit better. They've got to move their units quickly. I know the Flamers can't really move past those Suicide Grunts that well, but those choppers especially, I mean, they've got to keep moving around. The Arbiter can't be slashing them like that.
Yeah.
And that's, I think we're looking at game 3 right there, and that might be a quick one.
Right. I also
Suicide
don't know
Grunts
if
are
you
coming
noticed. Did you notice how they changed gear up to attack Pat Mac first?
Well, that is true. They
That
went
is
for the-
actually a huge bonus too, because I honestly think Pat Mac is one of the. You can't leave the Isabel alone because the Warthog spam will eventually overwhelm you.
Back to haunt
so
you.
they're like, okay, let's just go right to the Warthog spam. Let's just shut it down right here, and I think that's a huge help. Especially because the Pavium, you know, what's he gonna do? Make just more Marauders and then set him in? Like, it's not much he can do if you get enough units out there.
Point earned.
The stasis grenades finally coming out there for Yoda as well, going to definitely be a big help against those Warthogs, getting them pretty weak and stunning them for a while. It's also great because you can
notice-
cut them off in surrounds.
Why again? And well, this is a nice bit of a leader power right there. Grunthome just came in, nice counter to that. Again, I'm a bit annoyed that Yoda company have not picked up secondary bases. I just think it's something that needs to be done. You don't necessarily know if you're going to win this engagement right here. I think the game's over right here, but you can never be too sure. Pick up that secondary base and make sure that this game is over. Marauders are now coming into effect, those Warthogs as well. If Pat Mac loses this base, game 3 is done. And it is so close, and that's it.
Yep.
Game 3, Yoda, they are 1 game away from winning BtC Halo Wars 2 2v2
Man,
Open.
lots of upsets
tournament.
going on. For
Not
real.
producing any power. Call in a generator.
I mean, all right, so Pat, let's talk about this, because when and we're gonna keep referencing back to semifinals A, but when Pat Mac came out with Jeff and they just put up a brilliant performance against Metalloid and Savior. I mean, this has kind of been a letdown, hasn't it? Like game 2 and 3 especially, with their ability to perform against the Arbiter in Yap Yap strategy. What do they need to do differently in game 4 to push it to game 5? Because right now, I mean, they're spiraling out of this tournament, and they might finish in 2nd place here.
Yeah, my biggest gripe with their whole strategy is I'm not seeing any suicide grunts come out of Jeff Kills, and I honestly think they do so much help in the scenario. Having the Enforcer backup is just too strong. They have a pure infantry army every single round. You know, if not that, then hey, what needs to happen is, you know, you need to swap Isabel for somebody else who can have an aggressive defense to those infantry units early game. You know, snipers.
Maybe
aren't
some more
necessarily the
snipers.
one. Like, yeah,
well, maybe
I
some
don't
more
even know.
snipers, because we saw that in game 1, and that panned out pretty well. Worked out. You get a few snipers, you decoy them, and then it looks like you have more than you actually have, and maybe that pushes them back and puts a little more respect in between the two. Perhaps.
Yeah, you never know. Like, you just need to try something different. Because look, they're winning. If we're looking at the supply tabs, they're winning the power game, the supply game. The only thing they're losing is units lost. that's their biggest gripe. You know, Jetty was making 58 units every round. It's crazy. So we'll see what happens as we move on to game number 4. Team Abusement Park is up 2-1.
All right, game number 4 is about to be underway right now. Jetty, Yoda, Abusement Park up 2-1 in this best 3 out of 5. They have gone on a 2-win streak right here in the grand finals. Jeff Kills and Pat Mac switched it up a little bit. We got a Desi play going on instead of the Isabel. We'll see how that works out. I think that's going to be more for the end. Maybe they're going to go Engineer Chopper with that play.
Maybe.
Which might be a good switch up to keep things interesting here and countering that early push. In Rift, one of the fan favorites right here. You've got to get control of that center. It's a race to the center. Whoever gets center control usually pans out and becomes the winner. We'll see how this one ends up.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like. I'm sorry, I'm actually going to interrupt you. I'm going to chase Pat Mac here for a second. He is also opting for choppers. I think they're going to go for a double chopper over, probably into some shrapnel rounds to deal with these infantry units, just because that is such a big help. That's something that, keep in mind, that we did see Jeff Kills do a couple games, is opt in for shrapnel rounds against Metalloid, Monkey, and Savior when they had infantry heavy armies. We haven't seen that yet this series, I believe. If we have, you know, it wasn't very effective. So I honestly think that's probably something that Jeff has to work on in order to execute properly, help out the situation, and kill so many of these damn starting infantry units, you know?
Now, I think the pressure actually shifts over toward Pat Mac. He switched leaders. He wasn't comfortable in what he was doing. Maybe, I mean, when we play Halo 3, Pat, if you're dying or if I'm dying, it's usually the other person's problem, right? Because the fact that we're not there to support them. Maybe Pat Mac is having this feeling that because Jeff, it looks like he's struggling a little bit, maybe it's actually on Pat's shoulders because he's not able to help him in that early part of the game. Yeah. So, I mean, this is an interesting switch up. We'll see if Desi has a role here in Grand Finals Game 4, and maybe it can change the trajectory of this finals, because it's definitely shifted heavily in favor of Abusement Park. I think morale is definitely down for Jeff as well, Jeff and Pat. So I mean, this is again must-win game. Hopefully, the Desi play is going to be enough to push them into Game 5.
Right? They are solidifying their position in second place if they don't wrap this one up. So
we've still got the double raid camp coming out from Yoda. I mean, this is pretty typical. And then the one raid camp coming from Yoda, 2 from Jetty. They're just trying to push center, get control, getting power nodes right now. Actually, Jetty has opted for a 3rd raid camp. He's going to push out as many heavy grunts as he possibly can. We'll see how that pans out. Again, you need that chopper, you need that NG play, and I like what you said earlier with the suicide grunts. You need something to stop these, and doesn't actually look like Pat has that answer.
Yeah, it's actually he's actually doing the second thing I suggested, which is change up your leader and go for something that can help with these infantry units out of the game. And you know he's doing exactly that. Pat Mac's like, hey, you know what? I'm an experienced player. I'm good at what I do. I'm just going to chase down all these units and force Yoda to back up. And I want to just make it so early game I have complete control. And if you do that, then guess what? You're in a great spot moving forward into the later parts of the game, especially the mid game where all those big engagements are going to really matter.
And also, Jeff switched up his strategy a little bit, getting Pavium out
Pat Max might
quickly.
Oh, nice catch, nice catch. Almost lost a couple of those choppers there. Almost got caught off guard. Ah, there's your switch. I see what you're saying. A lot of grunts coming out.
That leader ability, or with that leader
Pavium.
hero.
You're actually not seeing choppers out of Pavium this time, which is interesting.
Well, give that to Desi. I think Desi's better for choppers anyway.
Yeah.
Especially if you get that, if you can get those NGs out. But I don't
Vortex
even see
too. Vortex is very helpful.
You Vortex and then get the ram in.
Ooh, there comes the grenades. Oh my god, that's a huge engagement. Oh no, that might not be looking good for blue though. Oh no. Yep.
Here comes the Vortex, maybe a little bit too late. Again, he's not going to be able to micro those choppers during this play.
Oh, it's not over
Doesn't
yet
look
though.
like he'll need
It's
to.
not over yet. It's a pretty even engagement still. All
Gotta
those
be very careful with
brutes
those
are one
rams.
shot. Yeah. There we go. He actually opted for a Pavium opener. So he's actually got Pavium out here as a hero. Maybe doing some damage. Pavium is a very, very strong hero. He does a lot of damage. I love the cannon he's got. Messes all the people up. Pat Mac proving why he's a good chopper player here too, microing those things as soon as they get one shot. But here comes Big Daddy Sheila. The Arbiter is here, doing all kinds of damage to these units. Going to be doing a lot of things in rage mode. The problem with the Arbiter is that its hitbox happens even after you pull away your chopper sometimes. It will actually engage a chopper, and if you don't pull it away quick enough, it will actually do a lot of damage to it. Pat Mac once again.
Pavium's not moving.
Yeah, and if you look at this too, yeah, Pavium's going to drop here. Jeff Kills is not doing okay micromanagement-wise, potentially. I don't know what was going on there. But it does look like shrapnel rounds has just been researched for Pat Mac as well, so that's going to help a lot with this if he keeps up with the
You
chopper
gotta keep the
play.
distance.
Yeah.
You can't ram with him now. Keep the
Yeah.
distance. Look, losing that middle is not necessarily the worst thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that you've lost control of the game, but you've got to keep them contained toward that. You can't have them pushing towards your base, towards those power nodes, because that's really when the snowball just gets uncontrollable.
Yeah. Pat Mac
Here
gets some
comes
great
Yellow,
micro
pushing
here.
right up.
Good dodge.
This is what I was talking about. They cannot let them just
Yeah.
walk up to their
The
main.
problem is Jeff has nothing. Jeff has 4 units. That's it.
And are they sitting right in front of his base?
Yep.
We might be looking at the end of the tournament right here. It's going to take quite a miracle for Blue to pull this off now. Pavium's out. He could get a good drop in. Ooh, they
Good stasis on him
stunned him. Now look, they're surrounding him. They're waiting,
Choppers
and
showing
it's
up
just
for
going to
Pat
get
Mac,
picked off.
too.
What a beautiful play right there. The stasis, they get a perfect surround on him.
Yeah, and now he's stuck.
That's,
Arbiter's getting one shot though.
Maybe he's going to drop. No,
Arbiter's
he's
still
going
up.
to get, maybe, I think he's going to get an engineer with that drop. No, he's not. Arby,
Yeah.
just raging uncontrollably.
Oh, he's
Doesn't
gonna kill
care.
everything. Yep, Arbiter goes down. There comes the shade, dropping in the shade.
Dropping in the shade.
Doing a lot of shadiness going on here for the red team, doing a lot of damage. Pat Mac had to pull all of his choppers back to engage. We have a complete shade turret spread here. Turrets coming up here for Jeff Kills, and there goes
Oh, it's going to be a good Pavium hit.
Yeah,
Except
but
he's
all
out of
you
units.
just gotta scurry away, you know. It's just
Jeff is out of units.
Oh, there we go. We're actually gonna get a nice vortex here. It's upgraded.
Wow,
so he's
that was
gonna
a
do some
great
damage.
pickup right there.
Yeah, gonna do okay. Of course, it has been nerfed all over the place over the last couple of months. And it looks like the chopper spam from Pat Mac has been reduced to basically 2 choppers. And a couple of units are still at Jeff's base. Jeff has managed to upgrade it. Those shade turrets are throwing shade, but they aren't doing much anything else. So they might be able to defend this, but they need to be preparing right now for the future tech. Of course, Pat Mack just grabbed a second base as well. It is on the way. And if they get that bad boy up and rolling, Nick, then they might be okay. But, I mean, they just... Yoda... Team Abusement Park has had this whole time just to, once again, tech up everything and build up their armies that they want.
Here's an interesting thing to note. Yoda has not teched. They had the opportunity to tech. Had the opportunity to pick up a base. Both Jetty and Yoda have not. But look at Blue. They have. I mean, you can even go as far to say he's expoed. He's got the expo coming up. I don't know if it'll actually stay. I mean, Jeff and Pat have a chance to really push into the mid to late game now, which is where they are most comfortable for sure. So this game is still wide open.
It is too. You know, it's all comes down to whoever makes that crucial final decision. Looks like Pat Mack is getting aggressive on Jetty's main. Gonna try to be annoying,
which is
as
a good
hell.
thing.
Yep, absolutely.
Not
Change the
upgraded.
focus.
He's noticing that they have a little bit of an advantage here. I don't like the idea of shooting the main though. I'm not a fan of that. I like it. I mean, Halo Wars 2, I think too many players just shoot the main and they don't necessarily appreciate the aspect of Halo Wars 1 where you shoot the supply pads on the side.
Yep.
You gotta do it. Just do it. Take out a supply pad. Take out an extractor, because guess what? They have to reinvest in that.
Look at that. They just took down Pat Mack's expansion. This is not good at all for the boys.
They're
in
still
blue.
rolling here.
Yeah, here comes some choppers out of nowhere. They're all getting
I'm not
one
sure
shot.
where the hunters are necessary. Maybe
Yeah.
precaution.
Methane wagon, maybe?
I don't see any.
Oh, there goes Arby going for Pavium. Pavium, Jeff Kills has had his base running, but only has one production building on his main. And his hero. Yeah, Nick, can I be honest here? This feels like it's a totally different team than the one we watched destroy Metalloid and Savior. Does it not?
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. Unfortunately, you see this a lot in sports. You get that massive upset, and then you're let down the next week. Especially in college football, you'll see that. You get so hyped up, and maybe you don't mentally reset yourself and refocus. Right? You beat arguably the best team in the world, which was Metalloid and Savior. I still think they're probably the best team. Right? You play them 100 times, you're probably not going to win even 20 of those, right?
Right.
So again, you've got to mentally reset yourself. After that massive one, you've got to get that focus down. And I don't think they have that focus. They've been sloppy with their micro, their macro. And they've been outplayed, honestly. They did such a nice job in the first series of stopping the early rush, and they have not been able to have an answer. And I think Yoda and Jetty's rush has been even more simpler. They just spam heavy grunts, suicide grunts. It's not necessarily as complex as what we saw earlier, and they're just struggling completely to stop it.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
I mean, look, you've got the Rangers. They're still slowing it down, but map control has now shifted in favor of Yoda and Jetty. Even though he's taking a center power node, it's a bit sneaky.
Cheeky.
Look, this is the time right now. Take out that augmented harvester on the side. It's weak. Take out the augmented harvester. Guess what? It's the only one that's augmented. It's the only one that's upgraded. Just take it out.
Ooh, just go down. That's a lucky pick there. I felt like it was coming up soon. I was like, ooh. The Grunt Dome does go down, so they are able to chase these final infantry units. However, like I said, 2 bases have been in full production mode. Pat Mack doing a wonderful job of defending his base, but at what cost? Everything? Your whole army? Your side of the map?
Well, if they can push him back and get a little bit more control here, it starts with taking your power node. It starts with expoing again. Jeff needs to expo. It looks like he realizes that now. You need, and again, I don't understand this with Yoda and Jetty. Yoda, guess what? Hasn't gone to Tech 2 yet. He is so committed to the early game, has not upgraded. It is 11 minutes 30 seconds into the game. He has not picked up an expo. Again, all it takes is Pat Mack and Jeff to get a little more control, and this game's over. Yoda has not pushed himself or transitioned himself well enough into the second part of the game, and I think it could very well cost them. And if they do lose this game or the tournament, they should look back at this moment right here and say, what were we doing? Yeah. Why aren't you transitioning into Tech 2? You're getting very cocky right now. Again, take the safe plays. Do the routine thing. Get that. You need that secondary base by the 6-minute mark. 7-minute, very latest. Get Tech 2 by 4 or 5 minutes? This is pretty basic stuff, and they're not doing it.
Yeah. Just like you said, that's kind of how it goes. A lot of these elite rangers here were able to get out, even though they were surrounded by 2 methane wagons, which was not a good for any situation. However, Jeff Kills' entire army is falling up the back, getting rinsed by shade turrets. Really needs to focus fire or something. He's kind of getting rinsed by all these different turrets in different angles. Looks like Pat Mac's base is going down again. Second time it's dropped.
Jeff does have the chance to get his secondary base up. It should be up in just about 12 seconds, so that's fine. They'll be up 3-2 on the base count.
Yeah.
Again, if Yoda keeps pushing out these simple enforcers, I don't know. I like the idea of just getting a bunch of Marauders out right now. I don't necessarily like the Ranger play. I'd rather stick with Marauders, get Thick Hide. You have Tech 2, push to Tech 3, especially if you have Pavium. Make it to the Thick Hide. See if Yoda's chosen to expand a little bit close. He's finally opted to upgrade his base, get Tech 2. He's getting the Apex out. He's got a raid camp on his main, and then he's got an air pad as well. He's got an air pad on his secondary base as well. He's got to be low on supplies. Let's check the supply tab. I am not looking at the right one. Let me switch players real quick. Yoda, yeah, Yoda's got 150 supplies, 180 power. He's not bringing in anything. Yeah, he's just realized that, and he's sacking it for. Okay, he just sacked 2 of them. Okay. I'm a bit confused.
Oh, Yoda also pushing all the way across the map, actually out to Jeff Kill's base, which is just finished upgrading.
Yoda's opted for just raid camps now.
Yeah, like I said, you just need to go enforcers at a certain point. Like, the Arbiter is so good with those enforcers are, I don't want to say overpowered, but very, very, very strong. And if you use them properly, then you're good to go.
You're right.
Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, look at that. You don't really need to do anything else. You just teleport around in the small teleport jumps that you have, and just float around the map as best you can. Jeff Kill's throwing up a shield gen on his main base, going straight up Marauders. Looks like he just found out he actually is going for an Apex now, as well after sacking. He actually, Jeff Kill's had 1 production building on his whole base that entire time since he was attacked. That means 1 foundry actually until just now.
And you have the ability. I mean, what's Pavium's leader ability where you increase your supplies, you increase the efficiency of your raid camp, stuff like that. But whatever it's called, you have it, right? You need more than one sort of production building, especially if you have that. Maybe it's different if you don't, but you do. You can't be that slow in producing more units. I mean, look at this massive. What do you want to call this? Elite? What do you think? Ranger heavy grunt ball that's going on right here?
Yeah, it's just the
grunt ranger ball.
Yep.
Just they're pushing.
Yep.
And again, look at Jeff and look at Pat. They are sitting on the wrong side. They were not prepared for this. Yeah. They're just gonna walk up to their front door.
Yeah, Pat Mac's gonna lose his shield for sure. Definitely a couple buildings before they get over there.
There's some good drops right there.
Yep, they're gonna have to at least try to do a Mac blast of some kind. Shields coming in from Yoda.
Beam's got to be pretty accurate here. If he drops his base, it is over, and that base is going to start dropping pretty quick.
And look
at the Arbiter raging around.
Too.
Yeah, it was just too slow to move.
Oh, there it is. Ooh, what is that?
Oh, it's I
haven't seen that one. Wait, you just dropped Decimus? Decimus has arrived, baby!
Oh, that was Desi.
Desi is
and Pat Mac has lost his base. That is the tournament, Pat. That's it. What are your final thoughts on that?
We have officially finished it. My final thoughts are, wow, what a bunch of upsets. I mean,
yeah.
I can't believe this team was the team that took down Metaloid and Savior, my favorite picks to win the tournament. And now they're losing to Yoda. Definitely Yoda. I was not expecting Yoda to win overall, as he's most certainly a dominant ones player. He said it himself. He's very surprised to even do fairly well in 2s. Even though some concepts are similar, it's still a different game. All in all, there you go.
But one thing's certain, congratulations to Yoda.
Yes.
Congratulations to Abusement Park, right? Yoda, Jetty just absolutely crushed it. Went on a 3-game reverse sweep. No problem for them. Congratulations to Pat Mac. Congratulations to Jeff Kills. You didn't necessarily show up for the grand finals, but you did have one of the greatest series that I think will be posted on YouTube. when you upset Metaloid and Savior.
Absolutely.
Congratulations to Moosey as well. Moose Pack for getting into the top 4, rounding it out. And I think that's it. I think we have officially finished the tournament. If you guys want to see more tournament stuff in the future, perhaps we're not counting it out, but we're definitely shutting the door a little bit. It's almost shut. Let us know in the comments down below. Leave a like. Thank you guys so much, and thank you to our donators as well.
Thank you to everyone in the Halo community, Halo Wars community. Shoutouts to 343 Industries and Creative Assembly for this incredible game. It's incredible, for sure. And shout out to all you guys for the growth, support, love, and everything you show us on the daily basis as we do more daily Halo videos. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Slick and Nick from Breaking the Clutch, and we'll see you guys next time.